Welcome to In Your Element, the podcast that unlocks practical wisdom in higher education, where leadership meets real talk. I'm Brendan Hinkle, Manager of Solutions Engineering here at Element 451.
And I'm Daniella Norden, Element 451's Director of Customer Success and Engagement. Join us every other Thursday for discussions with everyday heroes using Element 451 in enrollment, marketing, and student success. We'll unlock the practical tips to help you make waves on your campus.
In Your Element is a part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to In Your Element. We are live at the NCCCS conference, North Carolina Community College System Conferences. I have to remember how many C's we get in there. And I've got a real treat today. So I'm actually bringing in Kelly Sinacola, our VP of Integrations, and Jennifer Mayo, Director of Admissions and Records at Wayne Community College, who you guys hosted a roundtable this morning about CFNC integrations. And I actually think this is particularly relevant to this conference because CFNC is North Carolina specific. So thank you guys first for hosting the roundtable and for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Daniella. Thank you.
No problem. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Kelly, I'm going to go to you first because I think people need to understand what we mean when we say CFNC integration. What's the benefits of integrating CFNC? What is CFNC? What are the benefits of integrating this into Element, and why does this work so well for our North Carolina partners?
And it's a great way to start. So CFNC is the statewide application system for North Carolina. And Element 451 has built a really great integration that pulls in those applications into Element 451 so that our partners can engage with those students. We also pull in transcript data, so as a student uploads their transcript or as their transcript becomes available, we're able to pull in that data as well. So when you think about all of the different ways you have to engage with a student and make sure that they have the right information, having that data at your fingertips and not having to remember, was Susie, did she have a transcript? Did she not have a transcript? Was she the one that went to 2 colleges? Having that all at your fingertips is super important. And we pull that all in automatically, and that allows us to have a single pane of glass so that everyone can see the true scope of that student, everything that makes them up, everything that might be holding them up, and everyone can start from the same point of conversation for that student.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kelly. How many of our partners have this integration set up? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, the trick question. No, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's something that we really focus on with our North Carolina partners, especially because it's such a strong integration and such a great system to be used across the state collaboratively.
Oh, good answer. Sorry, I threw you to that one. And this can be done beyond CFNC, right? Like we do something similar for Common App. We can do anything. It doesn't have to be a CFNC if you're a listener who's not in North Carolina, that this principle works with Element no matter your application, right?
Absolutely. And it's something we're taking to other states as well. So you mentioned the Common App. We have the first year and the Transfer app that we work with our partners on. We've also built out a template for Apply Idaho. We're working with our partners in Texas for Apply Texas. So everywhere we have these very state-based application systems, we're trying to find a way to make sure you can have that data at your fingertips at all of our partner sites.
Excellent. All right, Jennifer, you're up then. This sounds really, really good. Tell us how Wayne is using this integration, how it came to be, why you like it, because I'm assuming you love it, right?
Oh, we love it. Integrating CFNC applications has been one of the best decisions that we've made. Many schools were already importing CFNC applications straight into Poly. We hesitated doing that because there was such an issue with data being duplicated, duplicate students. It's just messy, and you want to still having to touch the application just to clean it up. So we had paused and not started that this seemed like the perfect answer for us because when the CFNC application goes into Elements, it's like a pausing place that we can stop and review the application, make sure that it's legitimate, it's not a fraudulent application, that they are able to enroll in college. And once we have verified the information, then we can put that student into Folly and we have cleaner data and it helps us. But the students that we aren't putting in Folly, we still have a place to house them that people can still access and see the information. So to start point that they want to be moved over, they can be. So it's just it's a great place to house all the information that everyone can still access. When students are prospects and they sign up for campus tours or senior nights, they go online and sign up, and this information goes in the Element. And we have all these prospective students that already have profiles. And when the application comes in, it's matching up to these students. So if they're in Element, it's matching the application to the student. We don't have to do that. We don't have to search. If the student's not in Elements, it creates a profile, and it's still looking for possible duplications. So if it sees a different email address that they use, but there's other matching information, it lets us know, hey, this might be the same person, and we can merge them together. We don't have to try to do that. It does it for us. And then the great thing is transcripts. It looks for transcripts. Once the application's in there, it's going through and pulling all the transcripts that we would normally just download ourselves. When it does that, it goes through and matches to the students. And if the student has an application, if it's a transcript with it, we don't have to do anything. It's fantastic. We get the document. We can move the document to eTrieve, put it in the permanent record. It works beautifully. If there's not a profile in there or not an application, it puts it in a match in our CFNC folder that we can retrieve later.
This is awesome. It's awesome because I'm hearing how much time it's saving you, but I'm also hearing how quickly it is to apply for the right student to apply to Wayne. We were talking just before we started recording, 2 examples you were sharing with me about the military background and about Wayne College in Michigan, Wayne County Community College. Can you tell everybody how you're matching and verifying and qualifying these students?
Yes. There is a Wayne County Community College in Michigan, and lots of people get us confused. We get lots of applications for people that intended to apply to the school in Michigan and not North Carolina. Previously, we'd have to go ahead and get the application and send the student an email asking what their intention was, see if we get a reply. Most often they don't, and it kind of puts it in limbo. Now, when the application comes in, the first thing that Element looks at, we've built these workflows and decisions. The first thing it looks for is to see the student's home state. If it sees Michigan, it will automatically send them an email and say, hey, looks like you've applied to North Carolina. Did you intend to do this? They just check yes or no. If they indicate yes, it comes to us. We say it's been verified. They want to attend North Carolina, and we push through just as we normally would. If they don't, then we can withdraw it at that point as a Michigan student. And the great thing is, at any point we withdraw an application, we can see this the status that it was and why it was withdrawn. So we can see these are the students that withdrew applications, but it's because they were at the Michigan decision. So we know why our students aren't continuing with the process. We're also a military school, so if a student's active duty military, they'll be treated differently. They'll go to a different person. So it looks at that second to see if they're active duty so that we can put them in the correct hands and not have to make it so it's a manual process. We can create tasks, workflow. It just works great. It takes a lot of the manual back-end work off of us.
That's awesome. Kelly, I have to ask you, because everything sounds so awesome, about how long does it take for an integration like this to be configured and to set up? And then I'm going to ask you, Jennifer, about the testing sort of involved and how you made sure that it was where you wanted it to be.
Yeah, our CFNC integration has really matured over the past couple of years. So now we work with the team. We get a login to Cross Connect, which allows us to be able to pull down those files. And then our team is off to the races developing and putting in place the custom scripts that we've developed. So that usually only takes a couple weeks, and then we are off to the races.
I love that. Oh, I'm sure it was all that smooth, right, Jennifer? Yeah. But once you are off to the races, talk to us about testing and how you knew you were ready to implement this?
Well, we just had already developed so much faith in Elements and the process and just the reception of when there's a need, there's always someone readily available to answer our questions and to help us. So we felt like we were already in good hands, and we were not disappointed. They were with us every step of the way. We tested applications. We kind of did both. We would download them and just see how it matched just at the very, very beginning, and it was working wonderfully. If we did have a hiccup or a glitch, we would let them know, and not only did they immediately fix it, they would explain to us what the problem was and then what the fix was they have implemented. I know at the beginning there was sometimes a transcript would duplicate importing. They fixed that, explained what it was. Can't tell you the IT terms, but just the fact that they were willing to explain this is what happened and this is the fix that we put in place, so it's not going to happen again. So they're very receptive to the things that were going on. So we felt like we were in good hands the entire time.
That's fantastic. How long have you been, how many semesters have you been using the integration?
October makes 1 year.
Oh, wow. A whole year. That's awesome. And you've seen a difference,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yes.
We've seen a huge difference in our FTE. The spring, which is our first full semester, because we started getting those applications in the fall, we had a 6% increase in FTE. Summer, we had an 11% increase in FTE, and we're expecting another big increase as well.
That's awesome, Jennifer. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
got to feel fantastic. Oh, I feel like we should end it on that note, but I don't. But I'm like, wait, no, there's more. What were some of the questions that came up at your guys' roundtable today that some of our North Carolina partners had, or was there anything surprising to you that they asked?
Well, one big one is the CFNC process has a couple different application types. So the question of, can we pull in the different application types? There is CCP, there is traditional undergrad, there's returning, there's the new NC Reconnect program. And so each of those we're able to import in and process, but oftentimes those are also different departments across campus. So keeping in mind the tenets of Element 451, so the unlimited texting, the unlimited emails, the unlimited users, it's okay to bring in those folks that work with CCP to work with those applications. And to Jennifer's point, being able to have separate decision boards even for them so they can manage their own process.
That's an excellent one. Talk to us about your different decision boards, Jennifer. Do you have that locked down?
Well, and that's the great thing. It doesn't have to stay locked down. Element worked with us to get an initial foundation, but as you go through it, you may notice things that you may not have needed, you thought you did, but then you notice there's things, well, hey, if we can look at this, that'll take some time off. And it's such an easy thing to kind of learn and grow with that as we get more comfortable with it, we add more layers to it. And it can grow with us, and we can get more use out of it. And I feel like we have only just gotten the tip of what is available. I feel like there's so much more that we're going to be able to access and use it more.
What a good answer. Thank you for spinning my lock it down to actually making it access and available for all. Do you have some plans for the future? What are you thinking about doing next?
We are starting to bring our faculty in, our instructors. They are excited about the texting feature. I am ecstatic about the courses that are being brought on. And then the sections from that so that we can match up the courses for each semester they're enrolled in. Faculty can contact students in their class. We can look at course completions. We can use it for early alerts. There's just so much that it's just going to open up for us that I'm just very excited about this ahead.
I love this. Awesome. Well, those are all the questions I had. But Jennifer, we have one sort of, and I should have prepped you for this, and I apologize. We have a podcast tradition where we ask all of our guests, because it's the In Your Element podcast. So I'm going to ask both of you, and I'll ask Kelly first so you can think about this, Jennifer. But when are you in your element in the work that you guys do?
Yeah, so I definitely feel most in my element when I'm working with our great partners, problem solving. So being able to, Jennifer and I had a great conversation today about authenticated forms and how they can start to embrace those, especially as they bring in faculty members and other folks into the system. So just being able to brainstorm, think through all the different ways that we can help solve all of these different problems that come up on campus, or opportunities, as one of my former provosts used to say. No such thing as a problem. It's all an opportunity.
What about you, Jennifer? When are you in your element?
I am in my element when I get to be creative, when there is a need that, just like the early alerts, like how can we do this? I like to go in there and look for fields and look for ways, look for workflows. How can I make this happen? How can we be creative in how it involves people? And I just like to just move forward and create new things. So anytime I can be creative about how we can do something differently, that's great.
I loved this. Thank you both so much. This was so good. I'm sure everybody who attended the roundtable learned a ton. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing those numbers too. I don't think that we had heard about your increases in FTE, so congratulations. Kelly, always a pleasure to have you guys on board. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
In Your Element is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too.
Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional.
Our shows help higher ed marketers and enrollment professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Mallory Wilsey, Artis Kadu, Maya Demishkovich, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered, all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.